Yeah, Nita. Look, I can't find my doggone red flags. Somebody move my red flags and I have a
Yes.
box of them out there. I
Yeah.
can't
Oh
find
yeah.
them.
Where your flag? You's always waving your
My
flags. Where
red
your flag?
flag.
Yeah, you need one
I
in each
moved it.
hand with this couple here.
I
Yeah,
went
you
to
need
go
one in
find
each
my
hand.
box. I got like a box of 12.
Mm-hmm.
Box of
Mm-hmm.
12. I was like, girl, you already running late. You ain't get these flags by now. So you just gonna put
What
them
you
in the
think of her? What you think of AD's dress? How you think
I
she
was
look?
gonna get into that when we got into it. I liked her dress. I thought the slit was too high though. I'm just like a little
Yeah,
old school, a little old
yeah.
fashioned
I
that
don't
way.
think all my whole thigh need to be hanging out.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
it
a
could go.
just
Yeah,
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit down to the knee, but that was just. It
Yeah,
was
like
not.
up to the knee, all the way up the ass too. Because
Yeah.
especially when she was walking, it was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right,
Mm-hmm.
girl, watch that tie. So she is so excited. She thought that she'd never be here. And I was like, it's giving the vibe that you've never either been in a serious relationship or never been with somebody attractive. Just the vibes I was getting from her. She says she is the first of 7 siblings to be getting married. She says her confidence has gotten them through. And that's very telling. We get a flashback to their time in the pods, including their proposal. We get what transpired since they've been out, including all of the times he has says he was not ready. All the times he said he was not ready. I'm like, even just watching this little clip, like this don't look too good. So she says she fell in love with him because he is so real, raw. They mesh together. She can see herself with him, and he's so fine and chocolate. I was like, okay. So her mom comes in and she's like, I met Clay's mom. You had such a good time. She's real, and that's who I would want you to be with as a mother-in-law.
Everybody, if you go on Twitter, everybody
Mm-hmm.
love Clay mama. And we'll talk about
Yes.
that when we get to that part.
Yes. Because I wish
She's
I
MVP.
freaking had a
She's
clip.
MVP.
She
She's
is.
MVP. I wish you had the clip. She's MVP. The Clay's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got some pictures of her later too. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. Because if what's in here ain't together, it don't matter what you look like on the outside. Everybody and their mama can tell you you're beautiful, but unless you believe that you're beautiful and you believe that you're worthy, it's like in one ear and right out the other. So I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking the same thing. I
Oh
said she
yeah, we might
she
have gotten a
to
flag because
remind
it
that
was
man that
very
she's
high. Yeah, I wonder
coming up to
was
the
it?
altar.
I wonder they made it higher than I think. Did she ask him to make an alteration? Was it always
I don't
that high
think
when she
so.
tried to? Because it didn't
I
seem
think it
like.
was.
Yeah.
You know what it was? This was a second dress. They focused so long on that first dress. I thought that was the one that she was going to pick with the little mesh thing. And
Yes.
then,
Yeah.
like at the last hour, they put that one on. I said, "Oh, this one does fit her a little bit better." It's like her kind of her zhuzh. But I said she
Mm-hmm.
walked into the aisle trying to give him like a little sneak peek. Like, don't forget, don't forget.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to see
Mm-hmm.
all that. Yes, Miss Margarita was the MVP.
Yes, I'm telling you. I was in here. My mouth was flew open. 'Cause when we get to it, we get to it. So
Yeah, I got like some of
these
those moments I got so weepy because like you could tell she'd been through therapy and she was
she
just like
went
so
she went
organic and
through it.
like having a
Yeah.
serious conversation that needed to be had. I was like, "Woof, girl, let him know.
No, and the thing
Get
is,
it together."
I think the mother was healed until
She
this
was.
whole process
Mhm,
came up, and
mhm.
Clay told her new information that she
That's what
didn't
I'm
know.
saying. Yeah, it looks like
And
she's
then
been
the
through
Trump, and then
therapy.
it's like how it is. We all been through stuff, we've been through relationships, divorces, and whatever. And if eh, you heal from the past until some new information come
Is that
up,
me or is that
and
you?
then all that trauma you had
No.
come showering over top of you again. And I think that's what happened with the mother. She,
It
I was
was
waiting
because you could see it in her face.
I was waiting for the mama to get her pocketbook and bust the fob upside his head for real.
Listen,
I'm
I don't-
glad she didn't do that. I'm glad she didn't do it, showing a black woman fighting. But I was waiting for him to get her purse and just bam him upside his bald head. I
we
was
gonna
so
get to it,
livid.
but there's a part I think it was maybe right before we started crying when there was a pause and I was at work and I was like, Ninja, I know you done. I was like,
I was
I
supposed
know
to be
you're not
work.
about to
I
say
mean,
nothing
I was
crazy. I was
working at
like,
the time as I'm watching it.
yep. I was like,
I couldn't even do no more work. I had to stop. I just I could. Oh,
yeah, I
I
was
was bad.
screaming
Yeah.
and balling my fist up like what's his name? The
Yes.
cartoon. I was like,
Yeah. Fist and bald up. I'm telling you, if I could jump through that TV and bust him up his bald head, I would have, because I was pissed. But anyway, but
Mhm.
they look nice. Her and her sisters and her mom, and they
Mhm.
look
They
nice.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So she says that she thinks he'll be a good father. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote that father, husband. I don't know why I put and dad. She says she wants a protector and a provider for a husband, and she feels like she's getting that in him. Her mom gives her grandmother's jade necklace. Um, that's all that really happened in the bridal suite. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on before we get into.
No, that's about
Okay.
yeah, the mother, they was just there. I loved how they supported her,
Yes.
the sisters and the mom, I
Mm-hmm.
like how they supported it. And even Clay's mama, when they get to that part, supported, her too. So
Yeah, only way I feel like he didn't get supported was this raggedy daddy, but we won't get to the raggedy daddy.
oh
So he says he is happy AD is there and rocking with him. He says he is ready. I said, "Sir, are you?" And now there were two of his brothers there, and like I had questions because I was like, "How do y'all feel about your dad? Like, did y'all go on the cheating trips too?" Like, I had questions, but we ain't never getting to none of that. So they're in the men's suite and they're asking him, all the he ready questions. There's a whole bunch of talking. And I'm like, none of what he's saying is giving me confidence in this situation that he's going to say anything else when he gets to the altar. Like, I wasn't surprised, but I was still aggravated. So we finally see Trevor, aka Clay's trifling daddy, JK, but not really. And I was wondering where the suave was that he spoke of. I was like, this your daddy that you said was so suave? And I guess maybe back in the day, but
yeah,
I'm
maybe
not
back in
getting
the
no
day,
vibe.
and he's spending so much time talking about himself, him running track and going to the Olympics and this, that, and the third. Like, dude, this ain't about you. Don't nobody care about your
Mm-hmm.
old track and
Yeah,
field days.
accolades.
You
Yeah, so
know.
he helped him like fix his tux a little bit. Clay's got his watch, and then that's what I have in the notes. And somehow we get into his resume. He was talking trash about the first time he beat Clay running, and then Clay beat him, and it was because he had gotten better. Now, at first, I thought we were sincerely like giving the son props, saying that you elevated to beyond where I was, and that he was gonna like loop back around and give him some wedding sounded advice, but he didn't. So we will
Or
keep
I was expecting
proceeding.
him to say, son,
Something.
I wanted him to say, son, don't do what I did. Don't screw up like I did.
Yes.
Be a better man than me, son. I'm
Yes.
here to support you guys. I'm here, I messed up back when you were young, but I'm here to try from this point and do better with you in our relation. That's what he should have said. But instead, he
Yeah.
made it all about him, his track and field days, and
Yes.
yeah, he was just a mess.
Yep. So then that's when he gets into it. And he says he was all American in high school and in college, and he went on to the Olympic team until he had an injury and he pulled his hamstring. And since then, he has lived vicariously through Clay. And what I took from it is you could just tell by the way he spoke to him and the way Clay received him. I'm like, you want to be like your father. You want to be like your father. And I wanted the
Tell me,
dad to.
The Clay wants to be like his
Yeah,
dad.
Clay wanted to be like his dad. Like you could
Okay.
see that he looked up to him, and that he
Hmm.
wanted to be like him. And I really wanted the father to turn to him and convey, like, you're a better man, you're a better person, like you said, make better decisions.
Right.
Um, so he says the dad says that his father wasn't present, so it sounds like his father was like a provider, but had no emotional support or anything else either. So why would you not break the cycle then? But that's what they do. I've had one of those myself. He
Hmm.
says his
Oh
mom
yeah,
told him to
I went
treat
through
your
that with
wife.
my own father, so I know.
Yeah, to treat your wife well and be good to your kids. He said the kids part came natural, and I said, why not the part with your wife? And Clay's even saying that his father and him don't share much deep conversation, which I just thought was crazy. And then Clay, child, I want to cry for him. He starts talking like a little bit, like he says, like I'm ready, it's game day. But you could see him start to talk about like his reservations, but he doesn't give him any advice. It gives him like Dr. Seuss type level. Like if you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you're if you want to win, if you like to win but think you can't and you won't. I
Is
said, sir, what are you doing? If
what
you think
Nita
you'll lose, you
what
lost. I
Nita
said,
in the chat, Nita just said he came in with the coach speech, and I agree with that. Like he
yes,
coming in like he coaching, your basketball team or your some kids football team or something. And that would have
Yes, I
been all
have
well
that.
and good if we out there on the field,
Hmm.
but this is not what he need, what Clay needed to
Yeah.
hear at that time. Yeah.
Yes, I had that in my notes too. So I said, huh? It was so funny. I said after that, I said, huh, sir, actual words and affirmations. This is not, oh, it's so funny that she said this. So funny that she said,
Hmm.
that's what I had in my notes. I was like, oh. And I don't think that Clay got what he wanted from his dad. So I don't know if that made it harder for him to go to the altar or not. His dad did say like reluctantly that he was proud of him, like in passing, but it was like sheesh. Like even when he said like I love you, and then the dad waited and got to the door, I was just like, oh, child. She had another comment up here that I was gonna look at. Unwavering love for Black men fathers. Yes, cognitive dissonance. He doesn't even think. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
gosh. Oh,
and he
he didn't
didn't.
even think. Oh yeah, but yeah, Clay didn't even think his father Papa was even gonna show up. He said he looks so shocked and
And
surprised.
he showed up, but he didn't show up. He didn't show
Mhm.
out. He was physically there, but he did not show up. But you can tell he hasn't been the same. Whatever his father gave him, that's the same thing he turned around and put on his kids. And that's why I know it's
Well, he
not their
said that.
show,
He
but
said his father wasn't there for him. That's what the
I
daddy
know, but I'm
said.
saying,
Yeah.
and then so he turned around and did the same thing to
Well,
Clay,
that
and
usually happens.
yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted the other brothers to speak on it, but like it wasn't their show. But
yeah, and the way I mean, I don't know. For some reason I was thinking maybe they got different mother or father or something. They kind of look a little light skinned, a little different or something. They didn't look anything
yeah,
like
but I
him.
would assume they would have the same
One of the parents, I don't know if it's
father.
there. I'm not really sure, but
I assume it would
I'm
be the same father, or maybe because I don't think that woman had no other kids. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe this is some outside baby,
oh, it may be because
but
he cheated for 17 years out of a
still,
25-year
like
marriage.
what was your relationship with your father? Like were you on cheating trips too? Like did y'all? Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't matter from Clay's perspective because he has a like later on he says he's a mama's boy, but I feel like he's kind of resentful that she stayed. So it doesn't matter what she, like other than leaving, anything after that, it doesn't matter how good she treated him. Like it was always going to be an issue because of the father. So it's just like,
Mhm, mhm. And this
what
is
more?
going back to what you, Nita, and then agreeing with y'all. This is back to the therapy component. They should
Yes.
have been doing some type of therapy individually and as a couple prior to
Yep.
us coming to this wedding. It
Mm-hmm.
needs it for every couple, but Clay definitely needs it because he got a lot of childhood trauma. So he definitely
Mm-hmm.
needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. Shayna says she agrees. She thinks Clay is resentful of his mom. And yeah, of his mom, because she say too, yep, he has mommy and daddy issues. He does. I got mommy and daddy issues
Mhm.
too, but mine don't ring off like that.
I know,
But
and I can relate to this. My mother
right.
did the same thing. She stayed with my father through all
Mine
of his,
too.
and I love my dad dearly. I'm about to actually go see him. Well, Father's Day weekend, I'm gonna fly down to Florida to go spend some time with him. Yeah, but not child, child, I could be on here taking all my business. Yeah, I'm about to spill all my business for a sec. But but my story ain't no different than I'm sure
Yeah.
people in this
It's
chat probably got it. You got everybody probably got some type, but we probably collectively maybe got a similar story when it
It's
comes
a lot
to
of us have the same
yeah, a
stories, and
lot of us.
I don't
Yeah,
mind so much like spilling
yeah.
my parents' tea, but at the same time, like I don't want to spill mine because then I don't want my kids to like wander and he be like, "You said what about my dad?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
But
I know what you said.
we
Yeah.
don't
I
all been
mean,
through some
and
things. I try to
yeah,
watch my
and
mouth.
my mother stayed too. So I definitely understand why the kids. I used to ask my mother. I assure you, I don't, years when I was younger, I used to ask her, why you stay? Why you deal with this? Why you deal with that? And so,
Yeah.
and
See, we didn't
everybody
start
got
to
their
get into that
reasons,
to my adult years, and I feel like with my mom, it was a whole thing of her not wanting to start all over, and I was like,
It was that,
Lord,
it was
don't let that ever be
financial.
me. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it was, sometimes it's financial reasons.
yeah.
Or what's the old, the old song? It's cheaper to keep her, cheaper to keep him, cheaper to keep her. That type of thing. Well,
Hmm.
might as well just stay and um, you staying for the sake of the kids. It's a whole number of reasons, or their mother and father
Yeah.
dealt with it, and their great grands dealt with it. So I'm gonna just put up with it too. It's just become a generational cycle, and then
Yeah.
and we all and then later on we all just messed up.
Yep.
We all
She
just messed
she might
up.
not have known. She said has suspicions, but no. Yeah, that could have been back then because back then you had to do like your real investigative work. Like right now, you can find out everything you need to find out on the cell phone.
Yeah, yeah,
But
pretty
back
much.
then,
Yeah,
it probably was a lot
pretty
harder.
much on the cell phone there. But back then, there was no internet, no cell phone, no this and
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, you had to be
Definitely have to support.
riding around chasing people behind back then. But
Yeah, that's true.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely
no,
there was a
she might not have known. She might
suspicion.
not have
Yeah,
known. Yeah, she might not have
yeah.
known.
I
Hmm.
think, like you said, suspicions but no proof. Like she was like, "This ninja is doing something."
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. But I think
I
she
relate to
might have
Clay Story
known
also.
something. I think
Yeah.
she didn't know that Clay was going to the side pieces
Oh, she
homes
didn't
and
know
hanging.
that.
She didn't know
No.
that until now. She knows it
Yeah.
now, and I think that's why that the conversation with the dad
Yes.
was like
Yes.
she was
Because
getting choked up
he
about it.
said that before,
But
like
she
on
might have known
episode.
he was not a good husband. I mean,
Yeah.
'cause she said you wasn't good to me. So
He
I
said
think
that when they came out back to Charlotte, like he was telling AD that he was like, my mom don't know to this day. And I was like, what she do now? So I was glad he said something like
yeah,
during the
because he
show
put it
and you
on
didn't wait for the
TV.
show to air and crack your mama's whole face. Because I was like, what
Yeah,
you mean she didn't know? So
yes, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Brandy Yvonne says I relate to Clay's story also with the dad. Yeah, cheating and taking one of the kids. Yeah, I don't bringing your kids into it is just grimy. That's like nasty work.
Yeah,
And they create
yeah. My
mommy
father
issues.
never do that, but
Yeah.
and probably because he had daughters, not a son, so it might have been a difference too why he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because taking
mm,
your daughters would, yeah.
yeah. Oh
That's a
no,
whole nother level.
please. When my mother and father even split up, and he got with a younger woman, which he's still with that lady
Mm-hmm.
today, but when he had got with the younger woman, I was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. I I ain't want nothing to do with her. I was gritting on her, giving her the side eye and not being nice to her. I mean, now I'm cool. We all right and everything now.
Yeah.
It took a lot of years to get there. Trust me, a lot of years.
Yeah. Because
Over
it takes
30
time.
years.
I
It's
feel
been
like
over 30 years to get there. It
yeah.
wasn't no easy thing.
And
But
did you
how
wait until your mom was okay for you to be okay? Or were you okay, but like before,
it
after?
it
Because
it,
sometimes like
it
that's the thing too. Like
well, I'm gonna tell you,
you working through your things.
my mother is probably my mother's getting ready to turn 82 actually next week is her
Mm-hmm.
birthday. And my dad's 83. My mother, I don't think is still over it. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's just when you've known this dude she knew this dude all her life, you know what I mean, since they were teenagers. So
Yeah.
I don't think that because she never remarried or never got
Because sometimes
really,
you
really
think you're
serious with
over
nobody
it,
after that.
and then you get a moment and it hits you in the throat, and you be like,
But
"Oh,
it has happened to my mother like that. Yeah, it has
yeah,
happened. Yeah, yeah, it's happened like that. So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. For women, people don't realize for women it's different. Like we internalize these things different. And,
yeah."
take a lot of healing, a lot of therapy, a lot of
I was
to
wondering
move
about the
on.
brothers also,
Yeah.
because Clay made it seem like he owned. Yeah, and I saw the sister because I was confused because the sister had the same colors as the bridal party. So when she was standing there talking with the mom and the dad, I was like, "Which one?" When I watched it again today, and I was like finishing my notes, I was like, "Oh, that's his sister." Because I was like, "Why is one of her bridal party standing with his mom and dad?" But that was his sister,
Yeah,
and I don't even think that was the same sister that was
yeah,
sitting at
that's
the
what I'm saying.
table.
I think the father got children else that's not with the mom, children from other relationships or something.
Yeah, but then you should still also have an issue with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's the same issue, just different mom. You know what I'm saying? Like Clay's mom is Clay's mom, but y'all all probably got the same dad.
Now,
Like, well,
for AD's mom, is all of these her children,
I
or
don't
what
know.
are they in the halves? Because I know
It
her
could
dad's passed away.
her dad is gone, and she said she's one of 7 siblings. So I don't know how those numbers shape up. It didn't
Uh,
seem like those were all the mom's daughters from what
because when the mom walked in the room, and I thought it was just me, but one of my friends called me, and she said that the mother, it didn't seem like it was like no. It didn't seem
embrace.
like no hugging, no,
Yes,
not with the little girl. Little girl will go up to the grandma. So we just, I
right.
mean, I know it's editing, so I am taking account that they could have edited stuff, but it just didn't seem. It wasn't like how not Jimmy, what's his name, Amy and Johnny. That family, everybody was all loving and
Hugging and
hugging up
kissing
on
and
each other.
crying. Yeah, no, it did seem like those weren't her daughters. Like there was no embrace, air kiss, nothing. Hi, baby, no, nothing. So I was just
Yeah,
like,
I'm thinking that maybe she had siblings from the father, from her
yeah, because
his,
she made it seem like she had daddy issues also, which is why we're here.
yeah.
So here she is in her dress. She looks beautiful. It fits perfect. Like I said, the slit was a little too high for me. That's just my opinion. Her mom is giving her the words that Clay's dad should have given to him, and she's just pouring into her and letting her, letting her know, like, we got you. So now I wonder where her brother was, because when her and Clay were having a conversation about this, she was talking about and then, not having her dad was deceased, and he was saying, let your brother support you. So I don't know why her brother wasn't there to walk her down the aisle. She came down by herself. He came down with his mom, talking about he's a mama's boy. And I was like, I guess. And then I was like, how you be a mama's boy? But then I don't know how he would have told her something like that back then. Maybe he had to wait till he was older to spit it out. So now he smiles at her coming down the aisle, but there's no tear, there's no emotion. We get, okay, body. I said, excuse me? This what? And she's no better. She's like, you see the material. You got that shit on. These two are so unserious. So he does say she looks beautiful. The pastor, speaks his speech. Shout out to Miss Misha. Clay says, he was reluctant to do the sight unseen part. She popped out, and I said I could work with that. I said, here we go. He says that she made him a better man. They talked through their issues. They're a fantastic team. Clay got all the words, like his daddy. His daddy talks a whole lot, don't be saying nothing. So she says he's a safe space, a home. They speak the same language, baby. She says a whole lot more than that. But I was like, I'm
And
just
that's
not.
another thing I don't like too. When you know you're not gonna marry this person, whether it's the women who do it or the man, and this is for all the seasons, then you go up here and give all these vows. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm sitting there, I'm holding your hand and I'm crying, and then you're telling me, oh, how much you love me and blah blah blah, all this old stuff, and then you're gonna say, yeah, but I ain't marrying your ass. Come on now. I
I'm
don't
not gonna lie.
understand.
That's what they do.
Maybe
That's
it's
what they
just
do
me.
every
Maybe
season.
it's just me. A
That's
whole
what
lot
they
of
do
nothing.
every
Yeah.
season.
A whole lot of nothing.
It's not new. It's just because his attitude. I think we're so bothered, and it's a black couple, and we was hoping to get another black couple. I mean, most of us already knew the writing was on the wall. So,
Yeah.
the pastor asked Amber AD first, and she says yes, of course. But we knew this. And now this is where I'm going to pause. And I've been to weddings, and I've been in weddings. Is there like a traditional order for who goes first? Because if there ain't, they should let these women go first, so they don't.
You're right, because every season, sometimes it's the man, sometimes it's the
Right.
woman, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to think. Let me think. I
And
ain't
that's
been
what I
to a
was saying.
wedding in
I'm
a
like trying to
long time.
backtrack to weddings. I'm like, I don't remember.
I thought it's the man who go first.
They
Right?
should not let me be embarrassed, because let you say no first, and then I'll be like, oh, you
Come
made
on,
that so much easier.
come on, Nita. I know you know the answer. I don't know. I ain't been. I haven't been in a wedding in a long time. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it
I'm
should be the
thinking it's the
man. Either
man.
way,
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the man. But it seems like every season or so or every couple they
they
flip
flip flop.
flopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not
Yeah,
really
this
sure.
one they did the both the women first, but other seasons they've done the men first. So I
First,
just
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. But I really feel like in this experiment, y'all should give the women the courtesy of letting the men go first. So if they gonna say no, then you could just,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not have to be embarrassed.
And
Now
there's
if they
nothing to
say
talk
yes,
about. All
if
right,
they say
peace
yes,
out. I'm
then you
out of
gotta
here.
say
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now when it's Clay's turn, he says he loves her, but he doesn't think it's responsible to say I do. But he says he'll put in the work, and I know that you'll fight for me. I was like, Negro, please. So she hits him with the clay. What the and her friends' faces with mine, baby. The way
You
I
see
had a
those
picture.
memes that been going around of the family and the friends? Look at the minister was even looking like, bruh. Come on there, man. Come on, bruh. That's how the minister was even looking. Like, you come on, you wasting our time here, bro.
Because the
What are
one
you
friend was
doing?
like, and the other one was looking like, I know you freaking lying. I know you
Yeah,
lying. I said,
when
oh
they
my
them clips
God.
with the family member and the sisters and all, and I love it when she gave a signal to her family, her mother, that all of them raised up at the same time.
Mhm.
I love that, and they all walked out with her at the same time.
Yep. So he says,
And I'm
why did
not
the
saying
time
they
that
didn't go back and forward.
he's like, why does the time matter? She's like, don't do that. Like we had this conversation already. This is what I have in the notes. And she turns to her people. She gets
Mhm.
the hug from Clay's mom while her mom is still holding her hand quite tight. And then they turn around and get in formation and take their asses up
They
on
got
out of
that's the
there.
word, formation. They got in formation and everybody stood up. But I did like that Clay's mother, hugged her and
Yes.
everything.
Her mama was like, I'm not letting his hand go. You can hug her. You the girl, Margarita, but I'm gonna hold on to my baby because your son ain't shit. They got
Mhm, mhm. And
information
she
and they
did tell her
filed
son that,
out.
don't be forced to make a decision if you're not ready.
Yeah.
And because the mother, Clay's mother,
Mm-hmm.
she's saying this marriage is serious. So if you're not ready, but this is what I'm saying, marriage is serious. So if you're not ready, I'm okay that Clay or any of these couples that we have been talking about, I'm okay that you don't want to marry. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. Because maybe you
I'm
ain't
just
the
gonna
one
put this up
anyway.
here for a
But
second.
don't embarrass. I just don't think, why go to the altar and do this. That's why I know
It's
that's
been
the
their
concept of the
formula,
show,
but
but
I
I don't.
feel
They
like
need to get rid of that.
it's been their formula, but I feel like there have been some of them that have had this conversation prior and gave their partner a heads up. And I feel like you always should. Like I should always know what your answer is gonna be before you get there instead of getting there and surprised. Like, oh, we're gonna wait till we get there now. We're
Yeah,
not. So
I just don't
I'm
like
gonna
that
put these.
concept. That's the only thing that irritates me is that you get to the I mean, of course it make juicy, conversation for us and we all into the,
Yeah.
but but I just thinking you shouldn't do that because
Then that's a lifelong thing that's gonna freaking piss you off. We're gonna put this up here with AD saying I see red flags and just paint my nails red, and that's a red flag for me. But I'm such a fixer hole that I would be like, that's okay.
what? I'm such a fixer hole that I
Yes, this is from the first couple episodes on the in the pod. So we're gonna sit there right there as she says that he wasted her
wow.
time, but we all know that he did her a favor and all the signs were there, but she ignored them. And also he could have. I said also the same thing we were saying. He could have done her the favor and handle it like Jimmy and not let her get to the altar. Also, Netflix has some firing to do because there's two things about the show. You are there to get married, and there is
Mhm.
a deadline. So all of the shit that Clay said, like, are you even on this show? Like you're on the show to be married. There's a
Mhm.
time deadline. Like I don't know how you thought you were
Well,
getting
remember
around.
the guy Shake said the same thing. Remember? Shake did that same thing. He's like, "Well, why does it have to be right now? Why we gotta rush it to I mean,
Yep, let's take this one down, put this one back up. So we back in the bridal suite. She's going through it, and I also need Netflix not to allow children at these weddings anymore because I needed them babies out of the room while she was crying and carrying on.
yeah,
So she says
yeah.
that she's never enough, and I was like, ugh, I got my feelings were so hurt. I'm like,
I was
therapy,
really my eyes
therapy.
welled up for her, yeah.
Work some more therapy because her friends are telling her, you're always enough. The other person is enough. You just haven't met your person, which that's what it is. But once you get to that, once you get to therapy, you'll see that yourself. We got Margarita. She's MVP. She's talking to Clay. She's telling him, not to force. And I do. And I feel like the same thing you were saying. She's sparing the future ADs of the world, because your son's not ready. Don't tell any woman that you're ready and you're not ready. No I do's until you're ready. So his dad gives him some BS speech and says he's proud. And I said, Ninja, please. So Clay says they have a great relationship, but it wasn't enough. He says he brushed off finances, but he didn't when he didn't understand hers. And I said, then what were y'all talking about this whole time? I said, that's such a cop out. So he said he
What
asked
about
himself,
what about the finances?
he says that he has said something like finances are the part of it. He said he brushed off the finances when he didn't understand hers. That's what he said. Inga's like, what?
I
And
mean,
I said, why weren't y'all
okay,
talking
like
about
you
this?
said, what have y'all been talking about then? Because
He
ain't
told
so much making love you're gonna be doing. After a while, we need to sit down. Let me see your
y'all
bills. Let me see
had
your
a hundred
account.
and
What we
something
doing? What?
hours in the pods. Y'all had all of these hours in the pods. Y'all went to the DR. There was this. You had all of this time before you got back to Charlotte with the distractions and the work and everything. Y'all had all this time.
Right.
And you just told he's just sat there in the men's like the little
Mhm.
the groom
Well,
suite
maybe they was having
telling him.
problems with her schedule and them having time to spend time with each other. Remember that was an issue there too.
Yeah, well, she said she had problems with his schedule. He never said he had problems with her because he said she
Yeah,
had just
yeah, it was
started back
problems
to
with her. It
working.
was probably with him. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because she said she can make
Child,
it work.
he didn't want to make nothing work. He didn't want to put in nothing. So he said he
Mhm.
asked himself, "Am I a husband? No. Am I deeply in love? No." And then he goes to talk to AD. He asks if she's okay. She's like, "That's a bizarre question for somebody to ask." So he apologizes and he says that she struggled with it. She's like, "I get it, cuz." And I said, "Words were in my notes. Words, words, words." He says it breaks his heart seeing her like that. She's perfect, but he wasn't ready. He's not rejecting her. He asked for a hug, and she obliges. And also, they kiss,
She
and she's like,
because
"What am I
she shrugged
supposed?"
her shoulder. She was like, "Sure,
Yeah,
okay,
she's like,
sure."
"What am I?" But
I
she
wouldn't
kissed
even give
him.
him no hug. I would tell him get out of my face.
She hugged that
Right
man
now, I'm
and
too
held the
upset.
back
I
of
don't
his.
want to.
She held the back of his head.
I'm too pissed off. I'm sad. I'm angry. You embarrass me. I don't I don't want to. I don't want no hug. Leave me alone.
I agree.
Deuces. You know.
I'd
And
have been like,
when he tell her that we can when we can we not broken up. We can still be together. We don't have to rush it right now.
she held the back of that man's head, let that man kiss her. I said, "Oh," and then she's like, "Oh, I said, "Ma'am, you said that you were leaving. You said that you were not going to date." And that's not what we're seeing now because she just told him on like the last episode, "I'm good with a yes or no, but like we're not about to date after." I'm like, "This is not what we're doing now." So he says he'll go to therapy. But I believe Sharonda from Pair Wait said that when she interviewed him, he had not been to therapy. I was like, "Yeah, that tracks." She said she tried her best and he doesn't want her to think anything else. She says she feels that she was a sacrifice for him to learn about himself, and she feels like he used her to do it. And I said, "Yeah, he did." So he's like, "Do I
Mm-hmm.
have to leave? I don't want to go." I was like, "Bye, bye, Clay. Bye, bye, sir." And I said Wale was right. I meant to get Wale's quote to put it up here with my slides, and I forgot. So AD says she does so much for these men, and it's not enough in her confessional. And I said that's the problem. She says she's not going to beg him to pick her, but she also says, like, basically, if she had it to do all over again, that she would have chose him. I think that was like later on at the end. And then we get to Mama Margarita's
Wait a minute.
speech.
She said if she could do it all over again, she still would choose him.
Yeah, she would.
Mm.
There was more to it. I think I have it later in the notes. Like basically she wouldn't change nothing. Like there was nothing that he would do. She was always going to say yes. So
And that's why they is word on the curb. They still together now. I think I saw a
yep.
video that was floating around.
Yes.
Mm.
So I wish I could play the Mama Margarita speech, but she tells Tricky Trevor that Clay struggles with the marriage. Is it sacred? He took his twisted feelings to the altar. She says he needs to explain and apologize. Do not make excuses. Just apologize so closure can be had. Like whole time she's talking, I'm clapping, I'm crying, I'm screaming, I'm yelling. And it looks like Clay finally did tell his mom before this aired. I said hallelujah because
Mhm.
I was
And that's
worried.
why she was pissed.
Yeah. So she said
That's why she talked to him the way she did.
yeah, he says,
Mhm.
uh, he knows she stayed. No, she stayed, but he saw. Oh, this was Clay was saying that he knows that the mom stayed, but he saw things that he ought not have seen. I agree, and but
Yeah.
been put in a difficult position. Is marriage real, or do you get into it and lie and deceive? Is what the mom feels like he took to the altar with him. So the dad comes with his
Mhm.
freaking crocodile tears down here on the bottom and says that he didn't have the best role models in his life. And she's like, "Listen, I forgave you. And then things came out recently and I'm hurt. Although we came from broken families, doesn't mean we have to pass the brokenness on to our kids." And I said,
Right, right.
amen. Then the slick ass daddy gonna say, "Clay needs to meet someone like you." And Miss
He said, "Yeah,
Margarita
you did. You had
gathered
me."
his ass up really quickly. She said, "You met me, but you wasn't good to me." And I said, "Protect that woman at all costs," because she
Mhm.
read the fuck out of him. She
Yeah,
wanted to hit
yeah.
him with a 5-piece, but she turned
That's what I
around.
said. I mean, if I know this not that type of show, it's not Love and Hip Hop, but I was waiting for her to get her purse and bust him upside his head. You know what I'm
Give
saying?
him
Get out of my face. You
a
know?
James St. Patrick, Tasha mush something, mush that and get in the head.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I felt so sad for her and and I was angry at the same time. I had all
yeah.
the emotions going on.
Yes, I was, like I said, I was crying, screaming, yelling,
Me too.
cursing.
Me
I
too.
was like, oh my, like, because it was a conversation that needed to be had. Like we were saying earlier, you could tell that she's healed, but she's like, a little upset because the new
But the
revelation,
trauma come back up. If you got some new information from something
Yeah.
from your that you didn't know about, you're going to be upset all over again.
Yes, and she definitely was. She looked like she was struggling to hold it together because she looked like she want to ball up them fists, but
Yeah.
he was
And I
cool,
didn't
calm, and
think that Clay
collected.
looked like he was upset enough. He didn't seem like he was hurt for hurting her. He was like,
He's his
yeah,
father.
it
He's his
is. It
father's
was almost like
child.
it is what it is. Get over it type. That's how I feel he took it.
He's his father's child. The father doesn't show any emotions or any like emotional. And he said that was one of the things that he had to work on too, was like his emotional aspect, because he doesn't have any. It's just Brandy says she was tired of I was tired of Dad's excuses too. So
Oh,
they
the
give us
dad is
Clay's
just garbage. Yeah, the dad's
final
garbage.
thoughts, and he said that he didn't understand the magnitude of his decision. He feels foolish. I said, Clay, please. AD says love is blind, and then like what I said earlier, but she says nothing he could have said would have made her change her answer. Her heart is broken. She is crying in the rolls and waiting for it to be her turn. I would say, okay.